Hey folks, how you all doing? This is Con Over coming to you with another Submission Saturday video. This one was sent in by another subscriber. I can't safely say who because I don't want you to be like, oh yes, this worked for them or it didn't work for them. So we'll just jump right into these commanders. First things first, up here in the north, apparently we have some interplay going on back and forth between der Freischuetz and Tacitus Strategus. Strategus? I don't know, we'll see. But two OKW players against two UKF players. Jeez, there we go. So spawning up in the northeast, the currently, I guess, wearing the purple trunks is going to be Tacitus Strategus, and he is having a good chat with der Freischuetz. He's bringing along to the fray, though, Elite Armor Doctrine, Feuerstorm Doctrine, and Breakthrough. Apparently he's identifying his other individual over here, Cerealkiller, as his apprentice, and for that matter, the apprentice supposedly is bringing Feuerstorm, Luftwaffe Ground Forces Doctrine, and Fortifications. The map itself is Minsk Pocket, and their opponents down here playing the first of the UKF. It's going to be parks2, and he's got Mobile Assault, Royal Artillery, and then Special Weapons Regiment. Be definitely interesting to see how that goes. And unexpectedly now, for the last player that we have on the field, it is der Freischuetz, and what's he bringing in? He also has tactical, wow. Not thinking of it here for a second now, am I? Mobile Assault, Vanguard Operations, and Special Weapons. For some reason I was thinking TAC Support. That's not going to be the case. He'd be playing for the enemy at that point. So I admit it would be kind of fun to see Germans against Germans, like a Civil War kind of map. I don't know. In the meantime, though, we are going to see a very, very standard opening from whoa, never mind. Rushing out an SWS is Tacitus. He's probably going to be going for a battle group headquarters. Certainly hope he's not going to go and invest all that manpower and not get any benefit out of it. We are going to see a bunch of blobbing kind of happening right now out of the initial German positions, and because of that, this Vickers is just going to dominate this area. Vickers, however, is going to get outflanked by both Sturmpayos and Volksgrens, those two together working to kind of diminish the inefficiencies and deficiencies of the early OKW infantry. Unfortunately for them, they run right back into another Vickers, and that Vickers is going to get itself a fair amount of experience just kind of hanging out doing its thing. Der Freischuetz, in the meantime, opening up one Maxim, going two infantry sections, and a universal carrier. Guys, I'm all screwed up today. I'm sorry. It's been a very long day. My mind is already on vacation time. I'm recording this just before I head out. So don't you worry, though. If you are watching this, it means I've been posting up things all throughout the week, and I hope you've been okay with the progress. Nevertheless, Minsk Pocket right now is going to be favoring the Germans. They have a 2-0 cap, and they're slowly getting themselves kind of set up in the middle part of the map. And I imagine if the battle group headquarters slides down right here, we are going to have ourselves some significant trench warfare. Hopefully that won't be the case. We are going to see, though, that this infantry section is not going to be able to stop that cap, and indeed they will fight off the Sturmpayos, but they will at least make the losses worthwhile. Cerealkiller, meantime, he has his own SWS coming in. I'm kind of hoping he's going to go and actually play for maybe a mech regiment, even if he plops it right behind his allies' battle group headquarters. That might be a little bit more interesting for me. But Tacitus, yeah, he's going to bring up that battle group headquarters, and my guess is we're going to see a very, very quick upgrade to that, how do we call it, establishing retreat point. Also good to see, we see fairly quick platoon command posts coming out from both UKF players. Der Freischuetz going with a couple of Royal Engineer squads to kind of beef out his forces a little bit more. But it does seem that the Universal Carrier is going to do pretty darn well by itself. He's got the Bren upgrade, and he's got the suppressing fire. So it's not going to do as much damage, but he will at least do a little bit of damage and make them stop their capturing presence. And indeed, we're going to see that these infantry section will do a couple rounds into their back as they retreat. Not very sporting of these gents, but at the same time, at least worthwhile, and definitely what needs to happen in a time of war. The ticket drain has been slowed down. And that's probably good right there for the UKF, because if the UKF allows the OKW to get a fair amount of momentum, that will not be too pleasant, now will it, chaps? Infantry section over here to the west, unfortunately not doing as well against their opponents. These Volksgrens in cover doing pretty darn well until the Vickers redeploy slightly and brings them under fire. causing Cerealkiller really to be forced out quite a bit. And yep, it is a mechanized regiment headquarters right there. And this is now the established retreat point for them, which is fantastic. When you use Tacitus Strategus, once he brings in those medics, is going to have an amazing, amazing place to repair and rest and have his little bit of R&R going on. His ally for the moment is not so lucky, having forced to retreat all the way back. And that's just a shame. But Tacitus already going, he's getting out early. Is that to take out the universal carrier? Because that's the case. I'm not sure that's really the best usage of it, but perhaps he's worried about an AEC push at some point in the near future. Check that real quick. Yep, AEC going to be coming out for one, coming out for both. Okay, so double AEC on the field, and if Cerealkiller does not bring his own anti-tank onto the fray, Tacitus might find his lone Raketin a little bit outgunned, even with the assistance of things like you're not bringing them under fire. That's awfully strange. Like Panzerfausts. But okay, 6-10 in the game, and the UKF is down a little bit. And with that pickup, has been able to stop the cap. And indeed, you even see these extreme pilots are not doing too well in the meantime. They're suppressed and not even taking that middle VP anymore. That's not disturbing necessarily, but it is uncomfortable. We are going to see a couple of M6 mines going out in the meantime from these Royal Engineers. Excellent idea to put them on the retreat point here. We are going to probably see a Faust if those Volks ever get close enough to bring them under fire. And yep, here goes Sturm Pilots right back through. They're going to go right over those mines, and that might be the end of the squad. It's going to hit at least one already. Don't go too close, guys! That's one mine exploded. Sten guns aren't being able to bring them down, though. Maybe the other one's going to, maybe the other one will. No, it only takes out half the squad. I always forget about the mine changes that happen there. We're going to see already, we're going to be establishing that battle line in the center part of the field, that Schwerpunkt, if you will, of the entire map. But it seems that Cerealkiller might be losing squads. Yep, there goes one. And this other squad's going to be taking some pretty bad, I would say, HP losses coming out of the gate. In the meantime, though, we are going to see that an ISG is out in the field, and we'll be dropping rounds on top of this Vickers if he's not careful. That thing redeploying, trying to get away from that brutal, brutal kind of support weapons fire. We already are going to be seeing the Germans again. You do see Tacitus is able just to, fall back 5 feet, and he's immediately back and safe where he needs to be. Unfortunately for him, oh no, never mind. He's in and around this Vickers. This Vickers has got to bolt, or else he's going to get taken out. He's going to make it out of there just in time. And now we're going to see that Cerealkiller is bringing on a Panzer II. Now, with the Raketenwerfers and the Panzerfaust in support, that might be enough to take out the AECs, but not, of course, if they miss, and not, of course, if the AECs collect themselves and are able to gang up on the enemy. We are going to see Der Freischuetz throwing down suppressing fire to good effect, taking 2 squads already, and unfortunately not able to bring the third one under fire, but with a Bren gun on top of them, it does seem that this infantry section will at least fight the good fight before being forced into retreat. Never mind, with all that incoming firepower, it's not going to be able to be resisted, and they fall away. Interestingly enough, though, Der Freischuetz is also up here in the north. He's not been coming in and around this, and I kind of almost want to see that happen. Sadly, that's not going to be immediately the case. But let's theorycraft this for a bit. What would be the appropriate response to seeing your enemy blobbed up here in the middle? I would say, for my part, throwing down a couple of rounds coming in. A mortar pit, I think right here, or maybe back here, or even right over in this area. Yes, it will be easily hit if the enemy pushes around, and that seems to be happening a fair bit. But this is just begging for constant attention. And if you can force your opponent to be taking a loss or two, even in a kind of drawn-out fashion, would be a very, very good idea. The Freischuetz, in the meantime, is going to go for Vanguard operations. Probably looking to get eventually that strafing support, but already he's been bringing raid operations. So interestingly enough, so you do see he has found himself able to decap his opponent's strategic point and has completely and totally crippled the German economy. Very well done there. I have to actually single him out for that one. Well played. In the meantime, though, the Panzer II is going to come down and support his ailing forces, and he'll be taken in turn by the AEC. AEC number 1 is going to come in. Der Freischuetz is going the whole Dia de los Muertos kind of skin going on here. And he might be able to take out the Panzer II. One more round will do it. One more round will do it. No, he's not going to. He's not going to press that advantage that he's got. Probably a good idea in the long term. I felt the earth shake. Okay, it's just the support gun firing. In the meantime, AEC number 2 just kind of chilling back here. C Parks are kind of taking it easy, having a little bit of a rest, while his ally seems to be doing some of the heavy lifting here. We are going to see in the meantime another ISG, so Tacitus just wants to kind of hang out and do his thing. Also worth noting that it's not going to be a connected fuel point for another 30 seconds pretty easily, 15, 20 seconds. Ooh, nah, maybe 20 seconds. And that is a perfect time, ooh, geez, for the British to definitely impose themselves and to upgrade further, I would say. Infantry section is going to take some enemy firepower here, and unfortunately the AEC is very much being kept at range. The threat of Panzerfaust is a little bit too much to ignore. And 11 minutes in, it's already just been this basically the AEC show. Yes, I've been taking some very, very negative attention from these Rakettenwerfers, which are starting to become more and more numerous on the field. And yes, there we are going to see der Freischuetz is plopping down a mortar pit. And luckily enough for him, his opponent is not going to see it, I don't think. No, they don't see it at all. So when that thing starts coming down, ain't nobody going to be ready. And the rounds are going long, seems to go after these garrisons. It seems mostly because of this Vickers way back here. And do I also see? Yes, I do. I do see an armor-piercing sniper down here as well. It'll be kind of interesting to see coordinator fire go down on the center part of the map. I think I'd be a little concerned myself for putting the mortar emplacement so far forwards. But if it can be utilized correctly, this could be quite devastating to the German war machine. Have to keep an eye on that one. Definitely a gutsy play, even more so seeing that there's going to be... was that going to be the battle group headquarters? I think it will be, for Cerealkiller. Rounds coming in, and the ISGs are in the wrong direction. Question is where it's coming. Okay, right on top of that. Sturmpires are going to see it, and we're going to see, I'm guessing, the ISGs redeploy rather quickly. And the Sturmpires think to themselves, we got this under control, and the armor-piercing snipers on one flank, the infantry section on the other one, and a mine over here to support. Oh wow, there are mines everywhere right now. Mines all over the place. It ain't mine, it is definitely theirs. And I'm wondering if this thing gets taken out, Tacitus is going to be very, very put out. And it's also going to be rather unfortunate. Yep, there they go. That was kind of unfortunate. The armor-piercing sniper not being microed appropriately. Der Freischuetz losing unnecessarily. And as good as that mortar pit could have been, it seems he's going to be taken out pretty quickly, unless this AEC can be a hero and get over there in time. Part of me wishes that'll be the case, but I am very, very doubtful of it. Between the Panzer II and the ISGs now firing on it, yes, very, very doubtful of that one. 415 to 461, it seems that Tacitus is going to be bringing in his Schwerpanzer headquarters, and plopping it down right by here is going to be a great fire point, but again, bellows for attention. AEC comes up, throws a couple rounds in, and did he get hit by that Rakettenwerfer? I believe, no, he did not. No, instead, he's just going to sit up here with his skull face and just kind of laugh. And he's going to be doing decently well with the help of the Vickers over here. One Vickers shifting over to the west from that under fire garrison. And now with a company command post in play, I'm wondering if we will see any kind of pyrotechnic supplies being utilized by either player, either UKF player, that is. AEC has been taking some unnecessary attention in the meantime as well, falling back to get repaired. Almost got himself a full star veterancy, but not quite yet. And the middle part of this seems like a giant anthill of Germans. It's almost too much. And in fact, I really do think it is too much. Which really is saying something, because you know me, guys, I'm definitely a Germanophile in this game. Not to say I play particularly well, but it's nevertheless interested nonetheless. Vickers is going to be able to suppress, but probably not pin these Volksgrens in the time it takes them to cap out that point. And in the north, we will see that many, big deal, RNG happens. That many Germans are trying to come over here and definitely recap out the strategic point. Now, the RNG he was talking about, as I imagine, was a round coming in from the ISGs, and every now and again that does happen. It's very unfortunate when it does. It's very, very frustrating when it does, for that matter. But C. Parks is bringing himself in a Sherman Firefly, as well as his teammate is throwing down vehicle crew repairs. Probably a good idea as well. The Germans, in the meantime, continue their mine-detecting efforts by throwing in the guy they like the least into the fray. And Cerealkiller, as well as bringing out a Puma. Interesting decision. Very interesting decision. Not one I would have gone with, but interesting nonetheless. So that Puma will be more than enough to fight back on the AECs, especially with assistance from the Sturmpyos. Royal Engineers, in the meantime, do have their heavy engineers, which is pretty insane. So Vickers K light machine gun is pretty good in combat. Unfortunately, against more vetted up troops, it's a kind of a death wish, though, too. These Brens might be able to fight these guys, or at least delay them for a little bit of time. But it seems the Brits are being forced to rely on a fair bit of armor. Seeing a Cromwell coming out for Der Freischuetz, C. Parks has got himself that Firefly. And if the Firefly does see the German armor, it will destroy it. But it's got to see it first. And like I imagine, we are going to see, in fact, that Schwerpanzer headquarters in the middle part of the map, as well as Cerealkiller's battle group headquarters. And with the assistance of the Puma, it might be the Germans are able to push back this plucky little British garrison to the east. Bren's off to the west, able to try to pick up this area, but suppression might be their undoing. I don't know. Vickers is firing on the machine gun. The machine gun's firing on the Brens, and this Verkettenwerfer is not doing anything as he is wont to do. And there we go. The Vickers is now recruited, so it might be enough to sufficiently force back some more of the enemy attention, but no, he's just going to back up instead. And indeed, this Firefly comes up. He's got zero support, so if there's any kind of Faust coming out, that could be dangerous. But instead he throws out a round, puts that Puma down to 50%, and with the AEC right there as well. I do not, I repeat, do not want to be a macho man. Or that Puma, but mostly a macho man. Oh, yeah. 1750 in the game, and where are we right now in terms of veterancy? Cerealkiller, not that much. Tacitus, a little bit more so. Very diversified setups. And now bringing in that infrared searchlight as well. Trying to get more accuracy for those ISGs, plan his offensives more easily. And it seems like these guys are going to be throwing them down some booby trap point here. So the Brits will take some losses once they move in. Not that, oh my gosh, not a Cromwell, the Churchill. Dear God, how did I get that wrong? Probably because he didn't go that direction now, did he? AEC. Ah, that's why. He went with Anvil. I'm so used to seeing a Cromwell tank coming out, but I guess that was not going to be the case. We do see the Firefly pummel that Puma. It's going to go down there, and with that, I would desperately be retreating if I were the Germans right now. That will be happening. This Firefly, though, continues to be by himself, and I'm wondering if he's going to toss out the Tulip rockets. No, he's not. Probably a good idea. C. Parks is also going to go for Special Weapons Regiment, and will continue to take fire from all that ISG in the middle part of the field. Now, it'd be very, very good for them to get to that 12 CP point and then start dropping that every single time he's got 250 munis right in this area. Because even if his opponent is able to retreat forces out of the way, even taking out 1 or 2 base structures would justify the munitions investment. And unfortunately, it does seem that Cerealkiller has called in his last truck in super, super early. Way, way too early, if you ask me. Which will leave him with a little bit less manpower than he should otherwise have. Volksgrens, in the meantime, going to run afoul of pretty much everything. There's a couple of tanks here. There's a universal carrier. And there's enough infantry that shaking a stick at them won't do much good. And indeed, will he go down and retreat? No, he doesn't. Makes it away somehow. Firefly comes in to kind of support the entire mess. And any kind of AoE that happens here. Gardening microwave? No idea what that means. We are going to see in the west, though, that Der Freischuetz might decide to go for the raid operation, and thereby cut off his opponent's resource management once more. Unfortunately, it will also be that this universal carrier will probably buy it here. Oh no. No. The Jagdpanzer does not have prioritized vehicles on, and as such, that bad boy does able to get himself away. Interesting. So with a Firefly and the Churchill and a 6-pounder, this Jagdpanzer might go down at the same time as well. We're going to see concentration of fire that's not being applied by the Germans. And indeed, yep, that guy's going to go down. A nice little 1-2 punch from each ally, and that is going to set back the Germans quite a bit, I would say. Especially now this AEC has got himself a nice solid position to cut off his enemy's fuel income. Cerealkiller is going to go for a Stukas of Fus, which I'm not sure is maybe the best opportunity at this point. But, you know, nevertheless, it's his decision, not mine. And Booby Trap has been triggered. The question is, where's that Booby Trap been triggered? Over to the west. So the AEC laughs and bellows in its face. He's going to do raid operation for just a little bit longer. And now 4 logistics glider as well. I'm wondering if he's going to put it up here to the north. I would very much caution against that. But hey, if he's going to do that, he's going to do that. And go further back here? No? Maybe? Yes? No? I don't know. But we'll see in the meantime. Our Kettenwerfer is moving up here to support a prospective push. Not necessarily going to happen. And wow, that logistics glider gets down with almost no losses. No loss of HP. 20% perhaps, but you know, still pretty darn good. But it is going to be a push out from a lot of Germans here, and this mine apparently has been exploded before. Sniper, for some reason, gets himself inside this house. He's going to take a ton of fire from these Volksgrens. Or he's just going to throw it in a incendiary grenade that's just as bad. This guy's going to go down as well. So, dear Freischuetz, my friend, you need to get a little bit better with microwaving out those snipers. But it is worth noting that apparently the Churchill is going to come in and just start pounding on base structures. It would be better if he pounded on the base structures in the middle part of the field, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Air landing officer in the meantime is going to find himself getting savaged by these 5-star Volks. And with the Sturmpires right here as well, it's kind of an issue. But it seems Der Freischuetz is coming back in with a vengeance. Rounds are impacting on the glider, and if he loses that glider, the thing's super expensive, 540. And he's going to lose it. Yep, it's going to go down. So, brilliant little explosion though, of course. But here we are at 22-18 into the game, and this poor Universal Carrier might buy it. Even a Faust coming out would take him out, but Tacitus apparently is a very, very polite god and decides not to do so. We will continue to see that this Churchill, for some reason, is a little bit more concerned with taking out 1 or 2 flak emplacements than maybe perhaps being a little more effective in the long run. But, you know, that's his own decision. And again, I keep waiting for Der Freischuetz or C Parks, either one of them really, to get to 12 command points and just throw down right in the center part of the map. That could be so devastating if they tried. Churchill, in the meantime, is going to continue its, let's say, spoiling attack, taking out flak emplacements. I don't know if he's just trying to keep this for later. He thinks the game's going to go that long term. I don't know. But he's going to do it. He's going to continue to shoot this poor flak 38, I think it is, and not really allow too much to come out for them. Der Freischuetz in the meantime. Let's actually look at the British stuff, shall we? There we go. Der Freischuetz in the meantime is now going to be bringing in a Cromwell. I get the silhouettes confused all the time, unfortunately. C Parks has got himself a Comet tank as well. So if it's a German vehicle, it is not going to be on the field for long. Mark my words. Unfortunately, though, it does seem that a 6-pounder was lost in the west, and I don't remember. I think it was probably Der Freischuetz's 6-pounder coming down here. Could not tell you for sure. This Rakettenwerfer is also trying to put some fire into the Comet, and honestly, if he takes out the Comet, that would be a very, very big misplay from C Parks. And C Parks are getting some help, though, at the meantime, because his opponent allows that Comet just to kind of sit there blithely and not really doing a whole lot about it. Now, awkwardly enough, we're going to see a flank coming in, and now with rockets and machine guns galore, the Stukas of Fus is going to buy it. Wow, maybe not. It's going to be super close, though, so he's going to die. One more round will do it. Yep, he's going to brew up. And now there is that concentrated fire operations. So I wish I could just show you everything and just kind of turn off the entire HUD, but that just wouldn't be now my style now, would it? 259 to 453. The English are not still at 100% in the greatest position for this, but strafing galore, rockets galore, and if this had been placed perhaps a little bit better, this Cerealkiller headquarters would be definitely dead. Cromwell, in the meantime, and the Churchill just kind of running around, just being very, very, very frustrating. And that's exactly what needs to happen. See, Parks, next time he's got the opportunity, he just needs to throw this down right again. And this SWS really should buy it pretty darn soon. Rockets galore. Oh my gosh. It's sometimes just really fun to watch those planes coming in. Not too much fun to be under that kind of firepower, but, you know, everything else but that is pretty darn cool. Tacitus is going to go for the Elite Armored Doctrine, which means that if he eventually gets up to that Sturmtiger, that'd be amazing, but I somehow doubt that's going to happen. Cerealkiller, though, in the meantime, has found his forces devastated. Panzer II rather, got taken out. The Rakettenwerfer got decrewed, and all of this stuff, let's just call it stuff collectively, has gotten savaged. That's not to say that der Freischuetz has come out 100% either untouched, and indeed we will see, after this cannon bomb explodes, that he is down to just 3 infantry squads. C. Parks is in a much better position. And they are down to 200 points, but with the growing English, how do I call this, growing English armored fist that's going on here, we really could see a big, big shift happening. And with one of the points getting taken back under control, a Sturmtiger is now on the field. This could be interesting. One round's going to come in, just watch this poor universal carrier buy it. No, he doesn't, but the other guy does evaporate in a bit of smoke. But here we are, though. Even though the Brits are threatening a pushback over here, they are still down a 2-0 cap. Yikes. And that Sturmtiger on the field, every single time it gets an opportunity to fire its Death Star out again, even though right now he is really, really ill-positioned, I would say. Wow. The Cerealkiller headquarters went down with it. I didn't even see the last couple of rounds cause that death. I'm wondering in the meantime, though, this universal carrier seems plucky enough to kind of rush in here and take out these highly vetted up units, and unfortunately decides to buy it as these Rakettenwerfers sit and defilade behind the wrecks. But the Brits do have themselves a nice way of just kind of coming in, throwing off a couple of rounds, and retreating with their tanks. And indeed, you see this Churchill's kind of coming in. He doesn't really care that he's taking rounds from either side. And the Sturmtiger needs to back off a heck of a lot more and reload that rocket. Because I think would be insane to have. It would honestly would be rather incredible. Cerealkiller, in the meantime, goes with Fortifications Doctrine. And he might consider moving forward to throw down something like zeroing artillery. Unfortunately, he is not doing that. As of right now, though, he doesn't really even need to. He is up, they are up rather, 300 tickets, and the Brits don't seem to be doing a whole lot about that. Interestingly, the Comet uses the emergency war speed, not entirely sure why, but he does use it, which will give up the field over here to the Germans. And indeed, we see now more rounds being thrown in, ISG rounds still impacting all over the place, and a PaK-43 is here, and that thing by itself is terrifying. I'm wondering if C. Parks is going to wait just a little bit longer to throw down the concentrated fire operation again in the middle part of the field. I think that'd be a great idea. It might be different. I might see differently. And zeroing artillery is coming down as well. So the 6-pounder coming up just outside the range of that. And with the Germans not really being in the area, the rate of fire is not going to ramp up that much. So lucky for them. Over here in the east, though, we're going to see a couple of squads of Germans hanging out behind this house, hiding out more like, and really trying to make sure they don't get taken out unnecessarily. Although I'm kind of hoping we do see a mill bomb or two going out. No, we're not going to, and indeed we're going to see the Tommies take the point and lose it almost immediately right after them. I am concerned in the meantime about the west as well. The west may not be won when you see all these S-mines are in the area. This Cromwell, might be able to do something about that. But it's not happening just yet. Sturmtiger has now finally reloaded himself, so that laborious 30 or 40 second process has been successfully completed. And even more so, Tacitus is back up to strength. He's got 88 army supply, the biggest of the 4 on the field, and Cerealkiller is still kind of very much hanging out behind, really just contributing this PaK-43 being in the center part of it. We'll see in the meantime, though, that Freischuetz continues his kind of, I won't say domination of the battle space, but he is kind of coming forward to maybe, just maybe, get that raid operation to go fairly darn soon. I couldn't say for sure. If he's going to do that, though, he better get it done soon, because it is 66 to 453, and I think that we might see... Oh, no. Okay, so interesting. We did see the crew self-defense throwing out that grenade to force the Obers to back away or to lose their lives. But take a look at the Sim City in the middle part of the map. This is practically Brits from Code 1. Between all of this healing, the passive crew, vehicle repair, this half-track right here in the meantime needs to be used. That thing is, he's floating an absolute ridiculous amount of resources. This should be down years ago, practically. And it's 52 to 453, so I'm wondering if we're going to see a very, very close ending on this. The Comet's going to come over here to the west, taking some Panzerfaust, but just kind of laughing more or less. Now the Fausts are used, too. It's going to be a good another 9 seconds, and Cerealkiller does not have the ability to use another one for another, 15, 20 seconds pretty easily. Flak Half-Track as well is going to come up and find himself completely outgunned in multiple senses of that word. By this Churchill's going to come forward and two-shot him out into oblivion. And is this pack going to be firing at all? He's throwing rounds down range, but I'm not even sure what he's shooting at. ISGs, though, are going to be looking for this infantry section, not going to find it, luckily for them. And the Tommies have finally captured the eastern point, and it looks like they will be able to take the western point pretty well, and I kind of want to see a double envelopment here. We're getting closer and closer to that concentrated fire operation, and I think when that happens, has the opportunity for it anyway, we'll definitely see a throwdown of it right here. Also worth noting, it'd be interesting if the Freischuetz will ever consider bringing in the Vanguard Operation Crocodile. The Crocodile will be pretty darn good, weapon-wise, against his tormentors. Now the Sturmtiger, in the meantime, is going to come forwards and find himself really in a bad position here. Yikes, if this Cromwell is not careful, he will come under fire from the Death Star rocket. And it's not going to happen. He's going to be missing that one. And that's luckily. But it is worth noting that the tickets are finally flowing in the British side of things. And this Sim City, which had been amazingly good as a strong point, is now becoming something of a liability. These ISGs are doing work over here, and every single time they continue to drop rounds successfully, it is noticeable. But, yeah, not a great position, I would say, overall for the Germans. Cerealkiller has finally put down the Schwerpanzer headquarters, and almost immediately it gets taken out. Where is that howitzer? Okay, so the howitzer is going back over here. Not, I'm sure, that the greatest placement either. The howitzer has insane range, so I'm not entirely sure why you put it so far forwards. Nevertheless, that's exactly what he's going to be doing. While both Tacitus and C. Parks compete for the biggest armies, C. Parks has got himself 2 Comets, which means any kind of German tanks on the field are going to find themselves obsolete or dead in very, very short order. And shockingly enough, Tacitus only really has a Sturmtiger, but he has a very, very strong core of infantry. Now, I'm not saying that Der Freischuetz really needs to do this, but it would be good to be a little more aggressive with some of his play. He's running running successfully ahead with it. Double Verkettens and a Shrek is not going to be a great plan for the long term. Indeed, you will see this Cromwell is booking it for the hills as a Firefly comes on to support the operation. Oh geez, now the other Churchill comes up, and this guy is probably going to elevate his gun. No, he's not. She's not firing for it. That's actually really shocking for me. Very, very surprising. We'll probably see these Royal Engineers buy it, though, and that's just a little bit unfortunate now, isn't it? Because these guys are very, very plucky. No, they're backing away without being molested too much, thankfully for them. Churchill, though, is really sure to consider getting out of there right now. And C. Parks, in the meantime, I think he's getting close enough just to throw down. Yep, there it comes. So that is the concentrated fire operation. Even if he loses the Comet, I would say it's fairly worth it. Yep, he brews up. That's one. But this howitzer is going to get taken out almost for sure. And that is going to be a little bit. I'm not sure if that's worth it necessarily. Although I will say that C. Parks is definitely able to replace the lost vehicles if he wants to. Howitzer does go down. And I think it's more important to actually drop it on the middle part of the field, but it's not going to happen. Instead, we will see it just impacting in the back, I do think. Never mind. Able to take out a Roquette in just a passing glance. Always kind of shocking for me how much the concentrated fire operation can do, as opposed to how much it tends to do. 34 to 399, 398, excuse me. This Cromwell is charging in and behind, trying to get in and out, but if he's not careful, he will get taken out there. And, yep, is it going off? No, it's not proccing necessarily, so it's not going to be able to really hammer this bad boy right here. Sturmtiger is charging forward. He's going to find himself under fire from the Firefly, and with the Churchill right in the area as well, we could see a very, very big loss if this guy manages to throw a rocket between the two of them. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case, though, and indeed it's going to be the Churchill just kind of running interference, drawing the fire from these Roquettans. And unfortunately not circle strafing. But with crew... Wow, that was underpowered there. Very underpowered. Surprised to see that he's able to survive that damaged engine. Maybe another one or two is going to come out. I can't say for sure. And the infantry section, for some reason, decides to try to go and pick up this Rakettenwerfer. Dumb idea there. And we'll see the Germans are finding themselves slaughtered under a lot of close-in firepower. Royal Engineers, there's so many heavy engineers now coming in to start repairing this Churchill. And watch that health bar start to shoot back up. But in the meantime, we do see another Schwerpanzer headquarters just around the center part of the map, and I don't think that's the greatest idea at this point. Actually, both of them are in the center part of the map. I'd like to think they would stick one over in this area to the east a little bit more. Have the Sturmtiger as close support, and more or less be able to use it as a jumping off point in positions over here to the east. And as it is, I kind of wonder why they're not being more aggressive in taking back the western side of the map or the eastern side of the map. True, they have a very, very strong center position, but not sure really how much it's doing. Howitzer, in the meantime, where's he aiming? Not for the back base. He's just aiming for this fuel point. Interesting decision right there. Firefly, in the meantime, and the Churchill are just going to be pushed back a little bit by this infantry. It just keeps threatening these Fausts, but in and of themselves, the Fausts are not going to do a whole lot. Indeed, you see it barely scratched the paint on this Churchill. As you know, it just kind of calmly takes pot shots at it, takes out parts of squads, and although Cerealkiller has more than enough manpower to really kind of just remake as much as he wants to, why would you want to? Why would you want to invest your manpower in just making reinforcements? You want to use it in making other, more powerful things. Tacitus Strategus, in the meantime, Strategus, really should consider, I think, moving for another tank to support... Oh, no, he can't. Sadly, he's limited by his army size. ISG is thinking it's going to be infantry, starts firing on this and finds out it's a tank. And now with another tank in the area, this Rakettenwerfer is going to get outshot if he's not careful and gets decrewed. That's one thing right there. But even so, again, I get the feeling that if the Brits were just a teensy bit more aggressive with their armored force, really pushing at the same time, they could be dominating this space. Pack 40 can only engage one target at once, and even all this infantry-based AT, while devastating in the long term, really won't do that well in the short. More rounds impacting on this fully vetted up Cromwell. He's been able to survive a lot of very, very unfriendly attention. And getting the wonder yet again, Der Freischuetz, is he going to come in and around to kind of, you know, make any sort of push on these bad boys or not? It seems at the moment that answer to that question is not. But you know what? I am hopeful in many ways, and I kind of expect that to come out soon enough. Will this be a dead gun crew? Not quite. And indeed, in the meantime, this Churchill's back here just fire more rounds at the command headquarters. won't be necessarily devastating to the German war machine, considering everything they've owned is in the middle part of the map. And with a second howitzer placed on the opposite side of this battle group headquarters, this is just asking for trouble, I feel. It really is. Sturmtiger moves back up here, trying to maybe threaten this Churchill away with the implicit threat of its rocket, but he's not reloaded. And if he's not reloaded, he's basically just a giant, 50-ton war machine that's just not doing jack. But there is going to be a Panther on the field, and that cometh right soon. The question is, will be quickly enough to have this command headquarters survive. Another round will be impacting over here on top of this fuel headquarters, and that will just be, fuel point, and that will be a little bit uncomfortable for these Bren-toting Tommies, especially when rounds like that come in. Dear God, he's forced away rather quickly. For some reason I thought he was going to shift out to a Jagdpanzer. No, the Jagdpanzer's coming in for Cerealkiller. But I'm not sure that's the greatest opportunity there. And now these ISGs, which have been doing so much work, are not being able to do anything else. And indeed, you're going to see this Pak-43 will not be able to fight off absolutely everything. And now, with the help of these Typhoons, well, we're also going to see that one of them has gone down. Question is where? Up here, poor sod. And the command headquarters is down as well. Okay, some nice little cinematic shots of that plane. Being very, very plucky with how he's doing things here. Not sure that's the greatest plan. Hopefully he's going to come in for another gun run. We'll see, though. Meantime, this Churchill's pretty much going to find himself dead. Jagdpanzer, as well as this Panther, is a little bit of an FU grenade for some strange reason. I don't know why necessarily. Yikes. And der Freischuetz donates 2 tanks to the German war machine. Is he going to take out this Panther? That would be insane. No, really? No. Miss Micro means that this Churchill sells himself dearly, and indeed might even be able to take out this Jagdpanzer because of the missed opportunities there. Tulip armed Sherman Firefly comes up over here to the west and will find himself kind of encouraged to back away. Will do so, and I do believe, yep, this Jagdpanzer is going to go down. That is just not supposed to happen. And there he goes. The Churchill managed to stick out a 1v2 in a very, very, very weird way. Damage command headquarters in the meantime does mean there's no more extra infantry coming out. A fleeing Rakettenwerfer will be called back home to the base. I'm wondering if, yep, that Churchill is just set to fire at hard targets at the armor, that is. So that's a wreck there. Is that what remains? Oh, that's what remains of that glider. Poor guy.
Heavy armor ready to go.
Jeez, these guys are all caught out here. This is really asking for trouble. 3 Vickers armed Royal Engineers, along with a couple of very, very, very generous Tommy shots from this guard tower. I'm not sure how optimistic that's going to be. Excuse me, folks. Churchill finally buys it, but will there be some retribution gained from that, or not quite? As of right now, no. But we will see a Vanguard Operations Crocodile at long last. And what really should be happening is another set of of concentrated firepower should be dropped anywhere in this area. Cough, cough. At the same time, too, this thing's at 5 stars of veterancy. I almost never see a Pak-43 with 5 stars of veterancy. I never see it. And shockingly, the rocket comes in, but does not kill any of the 3 squads it was aiming at. 18 kills is great. But it looks like they were able to stagger away. Yeah, they are going to be able to make it out alive. Obers are going to get called in, and I'm really hoping we do see Der Freischuetz come in just deep enough for the concentrated barrage to be called on top. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen necessarily. A raid operation yet again, so he's just capping back the strategic point. Not sure it's the best usage of his munitions, but again, he's doing it, so he's doing it.
Well done. What's next? Heavy
A couple of troops up here to the north really need to find themselves some repairs, but there frankly isn't the support from the engineers, and indeed you do see these Raketans moving in with a bunch of infantry-based AT. The question really is, oh no, here comes the Vanguard Operations Croc. So the Croc's coming in, and that might be enough to really roast and toast this Raketenwerfer. These things are insane. Yep, there he goes, it's down. And that's enough just to destroy that. 34 to 253, the Brits have been sitting on the edge of oblivion for such a long time now, and I think they really haven't needed to be. You have seen most of C. Park's army is over here in the corner. In fact, pretty much all of it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so all of his army is over here in the corner, and I think it's like a giant waste. But by the same token, the Germans aren't really being too aggressive either when they have a heavier tank, more or less, and they have a fallback opportunity in the center part of the map between the Schwerpanzer headquarters, Raketen studded in every direction. We have this kind of wagon logger kind of hanging out in the middle part of the map. And I continue to wonder, I'm going to speed this up a little bit to see what goes on here. So, yeah, we're at ×2 here for a second. Vanguard operations, where the Croc comes in. The question is, he's going to get in, yep, there he comes in just enough just to pick up those strafing supports. But it's not got a whole lot of rocketing to do. There we go. There's some rockets coming in. Well, some machine guns coming down. Those gun runs might be enough to take out one of these things super, super quickly. Again, the calculation I think is like 1 in 3 chance on a pass of any plane. I would continue to say it would be nice to see a concentrated fire operation right here, but it seems that C. Parks is not paying attention to it. And both P-47s, excuse me, Typhoons have already gone down. I keep calling them P-47s. I'm so used to it being an American call-in, and it's just not. It's not. It's like, and that's just kind of scary in multiple ways. So poor Typhoons. Wondering again why there's not being more operations being called in right there. And I feel like we're going to be coming to the end of this soon, but it's not happening just yet. I'm kind of wondering why that is the case. I always love this thing. Missing RGM. Interestingly, Cerealkiller has no vehicles, even though he could easily support them. Tacitus Strategus, in the meantime, is able to call in some of his own vehicles, but I think neither one has the army supply to do so, depending far more on the infantry support to really get what they want out of the map. Now, I don't know if that's really the best way to go about it, but that's what they're going to be doing, and it seems that raid operation... Oh my gosh, this could be a perfect opportunity. Rush into absolutely every tank you have right now as your opponent moves over here to the west trying to pick things up. This could be glorious. It really could be the seal for this deal, my friends. But the infantry section will retard their progress, just the Bren section backing away, and all these mines are out here, so watch all these Germans getting blown to smithereens. An entire squad there. Savages another squad there. Engine damage on the Sturmtiger. Yes, this thing's going to get off an insane rocket. And will blow apart a Vickers. But it's really begging to be destroyed. But no, instead C. Parks backs away in fear. Vanguard Operations Croc, in the meantime, though, picks up a Raketen crew as well as a captured Vickers over here to the west. And this is the time, my friends. This is the time. Engage the enemy. Push forwards, men. Push forwards. By all that is decent and holy in the good empire, push forwards. But instead, hold the line. Okay, that thing. So, I don't really know what the Typhoons are going to be coming in. Because it's a very, very strange front line here. Especially with these things being out of supply. I suppose when we see it, we'll have it happen. We'll see. It says after a time, though, so... Oh, geez. And now the Firefly's been donated to the German coffers. There's an FOP in the meantime, too. So what is not really going well is that... Wow, another forward logistics glider as well.
Enemy action has destroyed our forward position.
Super curious. And something has happened. In the meantime, we do see a screw-up happening and a Vanguard Operations Croc coming in at the same time. Not sure why that just happened, but it did.
With 25 points left.
And yeah, they have to do something about this drain. I really hope they don't drop it by just being super, super cautious. That would just make me kind of sad. LEFH is taking a lot of fire, literally. And we're now seeing a charge in by all the armor that exists for the Brits. And if the Brits can savage these guys enough, this could be enough to break the German advance. Pack 43 is going to burn to death. This bad boy is going to burn to death as well. And even though the Churchill Crocodile might go down, well, now that ISG is down as well. So let's just watch the diminishing returns. So there you go. That's gone. These guys are gone. This could get taken out super easily as well. Tacitus only has a Sturmtiger and some infantry left, and the Croc is doing so much work. 26 kills. Before this, he didn't have that much rather. 26 kills. And let's just be appreciating this real quick. Down to 10 tickets. Take back the point, my sons. Take back the point. And it seems that is going to be happening with like a ticket or two left. We will see that fall back under British control. But even then is not going to be easy. This Jagdpanzer is going to be called in. The question is whether or not this Schwerpanzer headquarters can be taken out in that time. And I don't know the answer to that question, to be perfectly frank. Vehicle crew repairs have been called in. Those guys are repairing themselves back up to full strength. And I'm really thinking that this the Schwerpanzer headquarters is going to go down. But 5134, we've had it all, guys. Thrills, chills, spills, and more. These Churchill, supported by the Firefly, supported by this very, very vigorous Churchill Crocodile, are now just picking up all the stuff that remains. This Jagdpanzer's not coming in. The Pack 43 is gone, and with this, all this tech is just being fried. I don't know why these guys aren't even calling in King Tigers right now. I feel that should have been happening a while back as well. 34 kills. This guy's just been hanging out there. His brother comes in now. 9 kills on him. No need to back away. You had this, my friends. You had this. You really did. And now all the tech buys it. A glorious, fiery conclusion. And the Axis taps out in 52 minutes and 27 seconds. Thank you so much to Freischuetz for sending this game into me. Definitely room for improvement on both sides, but sticking it out until the end, I definitely know other players who would have tapped out much earlier than that. So I will give you a little bit of love on that one. Nevertheless, for this 2v2, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another Subscriber Saturday. And frankly, guys, we are over 760 subscribers. I know, I can't believe it either. If you're not a subscriber yet, you ought to be. Hit that subscribe button below the video. Like and comment. I would love to see your thoughts. I'd love to get your feedback. And I'll see you guys all soon. This is Conor Works signing off. Take it easy.